So this little spot right here is not how the landscape should be designed, right? So this is a road that I use to get around on. And so we need to dig a little trench to get the water off of here. And the next time I'm in here with the tractor, we need to raise that up just a little bit, because you want your water to shed off of your roadways quickly, your access routes, but you want it to be, soaking into the landscape. So this is where the water, when it floods, when it comes flooding down off of these hills, it comes down into this hole here first, and then this hole fills up, and then it travels across the road. So for a week or so, you don't come through here unless you plan on getting stuck. So then it comes down here. It fills up this area. And then it fills up that area. Oh my gosh, it's really, really wet and slippery. So then it comes through here. We've got a footbridge. So yeah, it's really working. I mean, because look at, let me just, Collie says, yeah, good thing I have claws. Hi. What are you doing? What do you do? What do you do? Yeah, look how much the ground is soaking up. Oops, I guess my videography needs to increase. So, if that area wasn't flat, or made in a way of a bowl, right, that water would just have gone away. It would land on the ground, and then it would just run away. So these are some giant Hugelkultur mounds. So there's that one there, all the way across. This one here, all the way across. This one here. That one's like, I don't know, 70 or 80 feet long. This one's like 100. That one's like 120. And then, what happens here? What happens here? Any of the water that the land can't catch in the features up this way comes down into this big hole. And this big hole, about 15 feet deep and 80 feet across, maybe 90 feet across. So, and then there's an area over here that I need to bring in a little bit more fill, because this is going to be quite the mud pit right now. But you can see this is the berm below this infiltration basin. And this, this isn't a pond because it's not intended to keep and hold water forever. It's just intended to slow the water down that's coming off this hillside. And it's working. There's just a couple places I still need to fix, but and just out of convenience, for me during the wintertime, because I won't have to be a mud bog vehicle to be able to get through this section. So, because that's kind of a low point. But yeah, so that's a berm all the way across here too. All right, so this is logs, branches, wood chips, leaves, cardboard, food, stuff going all the way up. And then oh man, woo! Damn, just skiing down there. See, look, just walking through here, you can see. Imagine what a vehicle does. So then I've been having contractors. I've got contractors that have been dropping me off concrete. And so I'm building these concrete walls as a retaining wall to the edge of my Hugelkultur beds. So you can kind of see the transition of what these do from big heavy logs and branches to somebody's cardboard and an old driveway. These use a small block to fill in behind the big blocks. Anyway, big blocks become littler blocks with a hammer, and yeah, there's abundance of this stuff. You know, I mean, you know, they've got to pay a lot of money to be able to drop this off, but yet, it's a resource that we could all be using. You know, because imagine this wall a little bit taller, right? And then instead of it being a big long line, it being cut into a hillside, coming like this into it. You know, you could build a house out of that. You could put some concrete in between the cracks, and it would become a very cheap castle. You know, you wouldn't have to hand down your children a mortgage note, a perpetual debt to exist. Because once you create that, it's just done. The houses we're building now and what we're, yeah, I mean, you know, the houses we're building nowadays, which way is the camera? There it is. The houses we're building nowadays, they're only meant to last you 40 or 50 years before they're going to need some major work, you know, and that major work is a new roof or new plumbing or new electrical or new flooring or new, you know, at least new carpeting. You know, that stuff gets gross after just a few years. So the way we're building stuff now, though, doesn't really make sense. But there are ways that we can be building things that do make sense. You know, like I'm taking this desert wasteland that, you know, is pretty cheap, and turning it into something that's a multiple use landscape. I mean, I've got obstacle courses so I can teach people about yoga and natural path of living, and we're integrating features into the landscape that harvest water and allow it to soak in, refill the aquifer. Where we're increasing the biodiversity of the soil, we're able to get trees growing. I've got apricot trees and apple trees and peach trees and all sorts of trees that are now growing in the desert where there really wasn't any of them before. And the main thing is fixing the soil, because that's the source of it, right? So fixing the soil in a way that it holds on to water instead of repelling it is going to give us the fuel for the future to be able to be providing You know, every acre that gets an inch of rain is like 28,000 gallons. And so if that 28,000 gallons just washes away, it's of not much of a benefit. But if that 28,000 gallons soaks in right where it falls, we have a healthy, hydrated landscape. And a lot of the problems that we face today are due to a dehydrated, unhealthy, eroded landscape. So I learned a lot from the beavers. And although the beavers, they don't give a shit about human infrastructure or desires, they know that if water's flowing, they're supposed to stop it. So if we let the beavers do their job, we would have a healthy, hydrated landscape. But since we care about our infrastructure, we need to make sure that we're implementing what the beavers would be doing in a conscious way. Like, share, and subscribe. Check out the other content we have. And yeah, I mean, you know, we're in this revolution together. You know, we have been given eroded landscapes that were once probably much more abundant. And maybe if we all do a little bit, a lot will get done.